All right. Uh, there's still a little bit of 7.3 that we have to go through. Um, let's just do one of these to review uh, what you have to do. Okay, this is what I meant. Y equals to 4 to the power of x. Okay, so if you graph this xy chart, negative 1, 0, 1, 1 over 4, 1, and then 4. Graph that. It looks like this. Exponential growth greater than 1. Okay, now, how do you find the inverse of this? We talked about this before, right? You swap x and y. So x equals to 4 to the power of y. Now, this is the inverse of the function. Um, we should solve for y if I want you to tell me the inverse, because this is not the inverse. You always have to solve for y. Like you put y on one side, everything else on the other. But if you solve for y, the xy chart is going to be really difficult to do. I mean, for some people, because they've never seen log before. Here's what I meant. I'm going to log base 4 on both sides to find the inverse because of this thing, right? They cancel out. So y now equals to log 4x. That's the inverse of this function. Okay, so in order for us to graph this, you can do the xy chart. If this one's difficult for you, I personally would not have trouble. I've done this enough. I'm not bragging or anything, but let's just do, for example, 1 over 4, 4, and 16. But if you can't see that, it's okay. You can just do it here. Okay, let's try to do this one. But this time, I recommend that you start with y as the input. It's slightly different. So, for example, we talk about this. Let's just name this negative 1, 0, and 1. You use y because this one's easier for us to understand. Negative 1, so 0.25, 0, 1, 1 is 4. If you can't do this, it's okay. Do this one. Use this. But you still need to find the inverse. All right, when this is done, you put this back into the graph, and you will find let's use this. This one's nicer. 1, 0, 4, 1.4, like this. That's the inverse. See, they're the inverse of each other. Now, it is your turn. Please graph this function first. Graph this using XY chart. Next, graph the inverse of this function. Okay, go. Pause the video, do that now. All right. Hopefully you do the proper XY chart. Okay, you do 0, 1, and 2. So this one will be 1, this one will be 0.25, and this one will be 0.5, this one will be 0.25. Grab this one, it will look like here, 1, 2, so like this. Okay, let's find the inverse function. Swap x and y. This is not the inverse function. The inverse function should be, I just log base 0.5 on the two sides. That's the inverse function. Make sure you do the xy chart. I'm not going to do it now. But the inverse should look like, this one should be here. There should be a line that goes over here. And then this one goes like that. This is the inverse of an exponential decay function. Yeah, all right. That should be pretty much 7.3. Let's move on to 7.4.